When I originally started 7thRoll, I wasn't planning on turning it into a Dungeons and Dragons centered channel. Um, I was actually planning on running systems like Dread, Savage Worlds, 7th Sea, a little bit systems that were kind of out there. I was gonna probably run 5th edition. It's the system that I've spent the last 6 or 7 years of my life getting better at and learning and becoming just, I would say, halfway decent as a DM at. But originally, the idea was to run different systems. And then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, there was this thing in the back of my mind thinking, I still want to start up the channel. And I was sitting at home anyway, wasn't really doing anything with my evening. So I figured, let's just make 7thRoll, because I also now had the tools to run my games online. I had 2 campaigns that continued online when COVID hit. And, well, I figured I might as well try to set up some sort of recording and just run Dungeons and Dragons for the channel. So 7thRoll became a Dungeons and Dragons centric channel. But recently, especially with, I should say, the OGL drama and some of the things that Wizards has been doing, especially lately, even though you could argue that they've been doing shit like this for a lot longer, there's always been this little bit in the back of my mind. Do I really want to stick to 5th edition? Now, if you've seen my OGL video or my thoughts on the OGL, that video specifically, then you possibly know that I'm not happy with 5th edition. I also made a video talking about how I think 1D&D is boring, how it's lackluster. It's not making me want to buy anything new from Wizards. And you've probably also seen why I'm sticking to 5th edition for Demons of Imanod and, my home campaign. God. Namely, I don't have the time nor the experience to move those over to a new system, and I also can't guarantee that the look and feel that it was going with these campaigns is going to stay the same. The characters are going to change mechanically, the campaign would change mechanically, and especially Demons needs to have sort of that. I went for a very specific look and feel there, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep that if I switch to something like Pathfinder or 13th Age or Savage Worlds. So I stuck with the system, but still, I've been looking into other systems. I've been deciding, do I want to stray from my original path? What does my tabletop RPG future look like? And of course, one big answer that keeps coming up is Pathfinder, especially 2nd edition. A lot of people have been talking about this. A lot of the people that have been jumping ship have switched over to 2nd edition of Pathfinder. And apparently it's a really good system. I've played it once. We were just starting out, so I don't know if it's my jam just yet. I haven't had enough experience for that. But I've heard so many good things that it's impossible to ignore it. So I wanted to do some stuff with Pathfinder. And I was thinking about content that maybe I wanted to make, but the problem is it's hard to make content on Pathfinder 2nd edition if you know so little about the game and its balance and how it works. I know the basics. I know the 3 action system. I know that spell slots are similar. I know a little bit of how like wizards and fighters work, but I've played level 1 and 2, So here's the thing, I don't know enough about the system. But then why should that stop me from making content? So I had this idea. What if I just make a character in Pathfinder 2nd Edition? It would be my second character ever that I would build for the system. And it is a way to kind of learn about the system. You're going to touch upon specific rules in the book automatically. If you go through it, it allows you to kind of learn how building the characters work. You learn a little bit about the feats that are in there. Maybe you learn a little bit about the basic balance. And you learn a little bit about the ideas. Right, cool. Let's make a character. Let's make a Pathfinder 2nd Edition character. But what? What am I making? That was a question that I wasn't sure on. So I decided, why not just solve this problem the same way that we solve any problem in a tabletop role-playing game? You roll for it. So this is what we got to. I want to build a character for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Since this is my second character ever, let's not make it too difficult. I'm going to stick to this, aka the, don't know if you can see it, but the core Pathfinder rulebook. I'm pretty sure I have like sort of an original printing. I actually don't know if I have an original printing. I think this is like a first version. So I don't know if I have all of the erratas. I also have a PDF, which I'm pretty sure doesn't have any of the erratas. So if I miss the erratas, I'm sorry about that. And let's just stick to the core rulebook and let's build a character up to level 5. Just level by level, let's go through it and see where we end up. And then let's release it to the world and see what you people think. Do you think it's a good character? What are the decisions that I could have made better? I've not looked up anything about min-maxing these characters. I don't know what's good. I don't know what's not. I don't know what's shit. I know a couple of basic balancing things, like more actions is usually better, but that's about it. Okay, and then how do we decide what we're playing with? Well, figured it's easy, right? So for those of you who don't know what this is pretty much just if you type in dice roller in Google, it will give you a dice roller. My Chrome is apparently set to Dutch, which is why it says dobbelsteenkoeien instead of roll dice, because I'm too lazy to switch it. But pretty much this lets you, roll any kind of die. It's actually a pretty good roll. Why don't I roll it like this during my games, God? But anyway, I figured let's roll a die to see what we're going to be building. So what are we rolling for? Well, there's two things that I want to roll for. Ancestry and the class. Now, since we're sticking to the core rulebook, there are 6 ancestries: dwarf, elf, gnome, goblin, halfling, and human. So, easy enough, we roll a d6 for that, right? I also specifically set the order because that means dwarf is 1, elf is 2, gnome is 3, and so on and so forth. You get it, right? So, we are going to be playing 2, which is an elf. Okay. My first character was a goblin, so nice. We're going to be playing an elf. All right, cool. Then we can actually do the same thing for the classes. And for this one, I'm actually going to open up my book because it's easier for me. So what are we going to be playing as otherwise. So there's 12 classes within Pathfinder 2nd edition. Alchemist, Barbarian, Bard, Champion, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Wizard. So pretty much Paladin is renamed to Champion, and Warlock has been replaced with Alchemist. Easy enough, right? So we're going to roll a d12, and that is going to determine what class we will be playing. Now, I want to make one small addendum here. As I've mentioned, this is my second time building a character. So I am going to be re-rolling ones for the d12. The reason for that is very simple. My first character was an alchemist, and alchemist gets represented by a 1 here. So I figured maybe it's a good idea to not necessarily play or build the same class, especially since I've already been looking through that class's features. So we're going to re-roll one. So we're not going to be playing an alchemist. Maybe I'll rebuild one later down the line once I have a little bit more experience. But anyway. 12. Wizard. That seems like a horrible idea. So, no. That seems like a horrible idea. All right. That's great. I don't know if Wizard is the hardest class in Pathfinder, but anyway. All right. So, that's it for the rolling. I think that's all for rules. So, to reiterate, we're going to be playing building, I should say, an Elven Wizard. We're going to be building that character from level 1 to level 5, only using the original printing of the core rulebook. So there's probably erratas and stuff, which I'll learn later down the line. Plus, technically in November, we're getting a new book anyway, so who cares, right? All right, so let's get to that. All right. So, we start where all great stories start, with an empty character sheet and a player's handbook. This is a fillable sheet that I found on the internet, and we're going to start with level 1. So, we already know our ancestry is elf. We already know our class is going to be wizard. Yay! We can fill in some stuff. And we already know that player name is 7 because what the hell? I don't know how many experience points I need, so we'll see about that later. Yay. All right. So, elf. As an ancient people, elves have seen great change and have the perspective that can come only from watching the arc of history. After leaving the world in ancient times, they return to a changed land, and they still struggle to reclaim their ancestral homes, most notably from terrible demons that have invaded parts of their lands. Wait, are we actually just playing Imanod? What is this? Am I making Jed 2.0? Am I calling this like Jer instead of Jed? Fuck yes, I'm just gonna call him Jer. Just to piss off Yella. I'm gonna give him 2 Ds because why the hell not? 2 Ds, 2 Rs. Oh my god, I'm... Yes. Anyway. To some, the elves are objects of awe, graceful and beautiful, with immense talent and knowledge. Among themselves, however, the elves place far more importance on personal freedom than on living up on these ideals. So I'm not going to go through the entire lore stuff. A lot of you probably know this. I tend to not necessarily stick to the lore of the worlds. I tend to prefer to make it my own. So I'm not going to spend too much time here because I mostly want to get to building my character. Jared not in here? No? Damn it. That's too bad. All right. So we do have to pick heritage, and we will get 1 ancestry feat. and some other stuff. All right, so first of all, things that we need to fill in. So we have 6 hit points. I'm still getting used to this thing. Some of you are shouting at me right now. There you go. 6 maximum hit points, which we are going to get some from our class 2, you know. Size, medium. Alignment, I really don't care. Speed. Okay. Speed. Whoops. 30 feet. All right. Ability boosts, I need to look up how that works again. And then intelligence, I need to look at traits, elf, and humanoid. Can I fill in traits here? Oh, traits, elf, humanoid. Deity. Again, we're not necessarily building like a backstory just yet. Maybe we will. We'll see. All right. So I'm gonna use the book a little bit because I do need to remind myself how to build a character. All right. Oh, look, there's a handy dandy list here. I completely forgot about that. All right, so you need to start building your character's ability scores. Each start at 10, and as you select an ancestry background and class, you'll apply ability boosts, which increase the score by 2, and ability plus, which decrease it by 2. So at this point, just note a 10 in each ability score. All right, cool. It says that I have to put my scores here, so I will listen. Thank you. Oh, because it fills in the modifiers automatically. That's actually kind of cool. That's really cool. Thank you. Oh, right, and it fills in like fortitude, reflex, and will too. That's cool. I like it. All right. So we already know that we are getting an ability boost into dexterity and intelligence. One thing. To pick the ancestry. Taking any voluntary flaw. Blah, blah, blah. Wait, I completely am lost on this. I completely forgot how this works. So I think... So pretty much, right? We're getting an ability boosted dex and we're getting 1 to intelligence, which makes this a 12 and this a 12. And then we get to pick 1. We also get a flaw to our constitution. So our constitution goes down to, can I make this 0.8? Is that a thing? Okay, nice. It does read 0.8. Don't ask me why, I just prefer having 2 numbers there because it like makes it equally big. So that starts there, and then we get to pick 1 free ability boost, which, seeing as we're playing as a wizard, and I do believe that wizards use intelligence, at least I would assume. I would assume, at least, that wizards use intelligence. Key ability intelligence, yeah. So let's put the free one into intelligence then. I think I can do this. I think I can legitimately just put the +2 into intelligence. I love how we're making like a wizard with like 8 constitution. That seems like a really, really bad idea, to be perfectly honest. But hey, who cares, right? All right, nice. And then we also pick an ancestry feat. We also, I think, need to note down languages. I'm also going to be able to take like a bunch of languages from this in a minute, I think. We'll do that later then. And then low light vision. Is vision a thing here on this sheet? I actually don't know. I'm assuming that's going to be intelligent. Let's not put that there just yet. Alright, you also get like your heritage and your... Is special the... like low light vision? Is that the special or is there another special? You see, it's been a while. I assume so. For now, we'll just remember that, I guess. We'll see. All right. So, society, alignment, and religion. Many are chaotic good. No problem with that. I'll stick to chaotic good. And we're calling him Jer. Me. We're calling him Jeremiah, but everybody calls him Jer. Yes, I'm doing this to piss off Yellow. Anyway. Elf heritages. Elves live long lives. I don't know why the fourth word didn't just flow out. And adapt to their environment after dwelling there for a long time. Choose one of the following elven heritages at the first level. Arctic. I told you... Too late, God. You dwell deep in the frozen north and have gained incredible resilience against cold environments, granting you cold resistance equal to half your level minimum 1. I'm assuming that's rounded down. You treat environmental cold effects as if they were one step less extreme. Cavern Elf, you gain dark vision, sure. Seer Elf, excuse me. You have an inborn ability to detect and understand magical phenomena. You can cast the Detect Magic cantrip as an arcane innate spell at will. Cantrip is heightened to a spell level equal to half your level rounded up. In addition, you get a +1 circumstance bonus to checks to identify magic and to decipher writing of a magical nature. Arcana, nature, occultism, or religion. Okay. Whisper Elf. Your ears are finely tuned, able to detect even the slightest whispers of sound. As long as you can hear normally, you can use the seek action to sense undetected creatures in a 60-foot cone instead of a 30-foot cone. You also gain a +2 circumstance bonus to locate undetected creatures that you could hear within 30 feet with a seek action. Okay, so this would, I'm assuming, be pretty good on like stuff like perception and whatnot. And you're adapted to life in the forest or the deep jungle. And you know how to climb trees and use foliage. When climbing trees, vines, and other foliage, you move at half your speed on a success, full speed on a critical success. This doesn't affect you if you're using a climb speed. Okay. You can always use the take cover action. When you're within forest terrain to gain cover, even if you're not next to an obstacle. So I'm assuming that take cover just gives you some sort of a bonus. Which is why I have the book here, because then I can look this kind of stuff up. A 471. So on page 471, you press yourself against a wall or duck behind an obstacle to have better advantage on cover. If you would have standard cover, you instead gain greater cover, which provides a +4 circumstance to AC, reflex save against area effect, and to stealth checks to hide, sneak, or otherwise avoid detection. Otherwise, you get a +2. Cool. It's one action to take cover. So pretty much, right? Pretty much, this is like, isn't this like very similar to like the problem that rangers have? Where like, you know, frozen tundra, dark spaces, magical spaces, just limited in use, and then foresty spaces. So, are there any feats that rely on which ancestry you pick? No, right? Okay, cool. So that's kind of cool. So then I would assume this choice would very much be determined by like what campaign you're playing. Like, you know, I think Arctic would be good if you're going to Frozen Tundra, for example. Woodland would be good if you're playing in forests. I think personally I would actually pick Whisper, if I'm being perfectly honest. The reason for that being that, like, you get a +2 circumstance bonus to locate undetected creatures. This feels like something anti-stealth, which can just be good if stealth works as similarly as I remember to stealth in Dungeons and Dragons. The reason that I don't necessarily want to go Seer Elf is because I feel like I'm going to get Detect Magic from Wizard anyway. Although technically I'm going to be doing this a lot, I would assume. So I think I'm kind of torn between Seer Elf and Whisper Elf. So I think I'm going to do Seer Elf because I just like it more thematically. And then hope that I don't automatically, like, I don't base get Detect Magic as a cantrip from Wizard and I can pick something else. Because then maybe I can pick better cantrips. Because I think cantrips aren't worth as much in Pathfinder as they are in 5th edition. At least I remember that from Kingmaker. So let's pick Seer Elf for this one. I think that's okay. And then we'll just fill in with Heritage, we'll fill in Seer Elf. I'm not going to put the entire description. I'd have an app for that anyway, so. All right. And then we pick our ancestry feat. So you get one ancestry feat at level 1. And then you get an additional one at 5, 9, 13, and 17. So we're going to be picking a second one at 5, and I'm probably going to go here. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I am just going to read the feats that I can get at that point. I don't want to have to look forward just yet. Maybe I'll do that in the future, but for now, I'm just going to level by level determine it. Because I want to see where that gets me. All right, first level, ancestral longevity. You've accumulated. Okay, so you have to be at least 100 years old, which, to be fair, I can do that if I want to. You've accumulated a vast array of lived knowledge over the years. During your daily preparations, you can reflect upon your life experiences to gain the trained proficiency rank in one skill of your choice. So you can get trained proficiency in a skill, which is cool. But since it's temporary, you can't use it as a prerequisite. Okay. So this is pretty much just like a +2 to a skill. I think trained is the first level, right? If I'm recalling that correctly. Yeah, trained, expert, master, legendary, I think it is. I seem to recall. So yeah, I think trained is just the first, which does mean that if I'm yeah. If I'm like trained in it, I get both my level and my proficiency bonus, which at the moment is just 3. Yeah. Because I don't actually get to add my level as long as I'm not proficient, right? I remember that. I remember. Sorry. Elven lore. You've studied in traditional elven arts, learning about arcane magic in the world around you. You gained a trained proficiency rank in arcana and nature. If you would automatically become trained in one of those skills, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. You also become trained in elven lore. Okay. So I would get 3 proficiencies from this pretty much. 2 of which are arcane in nature, which to be fair would work really nicely with the circumstance bonus here as well. Although to be fair, that's only if I identify magic and decipher writing. So don't, like, pretty much the advantage here is like these are just, you always have arcana in nature. Here, if you know that you're going to be doing a stealth mission, you pick up stealth. If you know that you're going to be crafting shit, you pick up crafting. If you know you're going to be picking something up, you're pretty much going to be picking up whatever you want, I assume. So yeah, okay. Then elven weapon. Favor bows and other elegant weapons. You are trained with longbows, composite longbows, longswords, rapiers, short bows, and composite short bows. Gain access to all uncommon elf weapons. For the purpose of determining your proficiency, martial elf weapons are simple weapons, and advanced elf weapons are martial weapons. Okay, so what I would need to know before I pick this up is I kind of need to know my wizard cantrips a little bit, right? And the reason I'm saying that, let me explain. The reason I'm saying that is because let's say that I can just use my cantrips to deal consistent damage, then I don't need a longbow at all, right? Then I don't care about having a longbow. If I can't deal consistent damage with cantrips, then I might want a longbow instead. So, for example, Acid Splash is a cantrip. You deal 1d6 acid damage. Wait, you deal 1d6 acid damage plus 1 splash acid damage. The target also takes 1 persistent acid damage on a critical success. And then it becomes 1d6 at third, or 1d6 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, 2d6 plus 3d6 plus 4d6 plus. So, okay. So you would be dealing decent damage. The question is, am I really ever going to use that? Because I'm starting to think maybe you don't necessarily, I think, want that, right? Cantrip is heightened to a spell level equal to half your level rounded up. So I will only be able to do my 3rd level version of that once I get to 5th level, right? Which is why the cantrips only say up to 9th level. So the question at that point becomes, is it worth it to pick up Elven Weapon Familiarity? Right? Forlorn. Watching your friends age and die fills you with moroseness. Get a +1 circumstance bonus to saving throws against emotion effects. If you roll a success on a saving throw against an emotion effect, you get a critical success instead. This seems very limited, to be perfectly honest. Like, no offense. Seems very limited. Nimble Elf, muscles are tightly honed, your speed increased by 5 feet. I do think on a wizard this might not be bad just to run the fuck away. So otherworldly magic, you choose a cantrip and learn it. Is an arcane innate spell at will. Does it say, like, does it say, out of sheer curiosity, like, what my spellcasting modifier for that is? How do you attack with a cantrip? I actually legitimately do not know. I don't know how spells work. Shit. Actually legitimately don't know how spells work anymore. I didn't play with spells. Oh, here. Cast a spell. Just quickly checking. Doesn't immediately say it, does it? I'm assuming it'll use intelligence, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn between like weapon familiarity and longevity, to be perfectly honest. Because this would let me use weapons like a longbow or something if I don't want to use cantrips. So maybe it's interesting to just have a look at that. Like, is it worth it? Yeah, 446 attack rolls. When you use a strike action or another attack action, dex modifier for a finesse weapon for a ranged attack roll. Oh, right. You know what I just realized? I think that's the big difference. I think if you cast spells, you might be able to make a spell attack roll. The ability modifier for on how you gain access. If your class grants your spellcasting, use your key ability modifier. Innate spells use your charisma modifier unless the ability that granted them states otherwise. Huh. So, technically, if I take a cantrip here, I'd be using charisma. So isn't that a bad... So then that's a bad idea. Because I'm not going to be putting anything into charisma. So... Because my bonuses were Dex and Intelligence. I'm probably going to be putting some points into Dex Ray C. Probably going to be putting points into Intelligence. So, what that very likely means is that either I force myself to take a bunch of points into Dex, mostly because I would then be able to pick up Elven Weapon Familiarity, which, you know, would then allow me to make attacks with a bow. Does it say anything about, like, damage? Okay, so... Because what I'm thinking right now is I kind of want to go to equipments and see if a bow is ever worth it in this game. Because I know that, like, I play a Sorcerer and Kingmaker, and there it was worth it to just have, like, a crossbow, because your cantrips do, like, a D3 damage, which is absolutely... The only reason I used, like, Acid Splash on it was because of trolls. Because trolls couldn't die unless they took acid damage. So that's, like, the one thing. Like, let's say that I want to pick up, here, a ranged weapon. Let's say longbow, just because, why the hell not? Composite longbow would deal 1d8 piercing, which would have deadly. So on a critical hit, the weapon die adds a damage die of the listed size. Okay, so that deals a lot of fucking damage. Propulsive. What's propulsive? Propulsive, you add half your strength modifier to damage rolls. Wow. So I would have to put points into strength if I want to go composite longbow. And volley, what's volley? Less effective at long distance. Okay, so that's like a sniper fucking bow. Okay, good to know. I was actually kind of curious. But to be fair, a normal longbow has the same problem. Alright. I think just for flair, I definitely think this is an option, but I think because I don't necessarily want to put everything into Dex, because I think I'd be forced to at that point. Because I'm also going to be spending a decent amount of my time, I'm assuming, casting spells. I think I'm not going to pick up Familiarity. I think I'm not going to pick up Forlorn because it feels too limited. Nimble Elf, I don't like. Otherworldly apparently would force me to use my Charisma, and then I never read Unwavering Mien. Your mystic control and meditations allow you to resist external influences upon your consciousness. If you were affected by a mental effect, lasts at least 2 rounds. Reduce the duration by 1 round. You still require natural sleep, but you treat your saving throws against effects that will cause you to fall asleep as 1 degree of success better. Okay, so this also feels limited. I think these are like good abilities to have. But I think from kind of being just like the smart guy in the group, I think I'm gonna pick Elven Lore here. Because I like it as a feature. So we're gonna be picking Elven Lore as our level 1 ancestry feat, which means we get trained proficiency in Arcana and Nature. And if you would automatically become trained in one of those skills, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. So if we would pick up Arcana or Nature, we'll pick other ones, and you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. And you also become trained in Elven Lore. So we are going to tick Arcana and Nature, and we are going to note down Elven Lore. So that's a good start, I think, right? All right, cool. And then I think low light vision is the one that we note down in the special over here. There you go. Cool. That was cool. All right. Good start. So we've done that. Step 4. Pick a background. Your character's background might represent their upbringing. All right. Whoops. I've also realized that I've been cutting off a small portion of the screen this entire time. All right, so when you create your character, you get a background of your choice. This decision is permanent, can't change at later levels, and each background listed here grants 2 ability boosts. Nice. A skill feat and a trained proficiency rank in 2 skills, one of which is a lore skill. Gain a trained proficiency rank in a skill from your background and would then get the trained in another one. Okay, so if you get double trained, you can replace it, which makes sense. All right. So I think, because I don't necessarily want to go through all of these skill feats necessarily, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a background that either I like that fits with the character, or one that just fits with the stats, I think that's... Or I just pick Farmhand because that's what Jet is in Imanot. That's another option. Alright, so Acolytes. Choose 2 ability boosts. One must be to Intelligence or Wisdom, and one is free. You are trained in Religion and Scribing Lore. You are trained in the Religion skill and the Scribing Lore skill. You gain the Student of the Canon skill feat, okay. Acrobat, which I just don't like. Strength or Dexterity. I don't necessarily like that one. I'm pretty much picking one that I want to have into... I'm pretty much want to have Intelligence, I'm pretty sure. Right. I think I want to get. I definitely want to get intelligence off of this. So I think Acolyte is a good choice. Animal Whisperer, Wisdom and Charisma, Wisdom or Charisma, which I both don't necessarily think I should prioritize just yet. Trained in the Nature skill, and a lore skill related to one terrain inhabited by animals you like. You can train animals. I mean, this could be cool in a wizard, I think. Artisan, strength or intelligence. You get crafting and guild lore. Honestly, I would like this, and then specialty crafting. Can I actually? I kind of want to look up. What specialty crafting is, because that kind of sounds cool. If I can bloody find this. Can I? Specialty crafting. Your training focused on crafting one particular kind of item. Select one of the specialties listed on page 267. Okay. You gain a +1 circumstance bonus to crafting checks to craft item of that type. If you're mastering crafting, this bonus increases to +2. So, alchemy, artistry, blacksmithing, bookmaking, glassmaking, leatherworking, pottery, shipbuilding. Oh, I can make ships. And you need to have alchemical crafting in order to craft alchemical items. Yeah, okay, nice. Okay. I think it's less helpful than you'd think. And student of the canon, you've researched many faiths enough to recognize notions about them that are unlikely to be true. If you roll a critical failure at a religion check or decipher writing of originalist nature or call knowledge about the tenets of fate, you get a failure instead. And if you roll a failure, you get a success. Okay, so you increase it by 1 level. For religion, though, I would assume if you have a cleric, you don't necessarily need this. Barkeep, like Constitution and Charisma. Although I do think I want to put 1 point to Constitution. Like, I do want to put it back to 10. I don't want to die. it's pretty much the easy answer there. Barrister, intelligence or charisma. Piles of legal manuals, stern teachers, and experience in the courtroom. Oh, really? Wait, you'd be a lawyer? You can play a lawyer? That's awesome. I just want to pick that because that seems cool. That seems really cool. Group impression. When you make an impression, you can compare your diplomacy check result to the will DCs of 2 targets instead of 1. I'm never gonna... I'm not gonna be the one making diplomacy checks. Unless, again, I start playing like Jet does. I'm comparing this character way too much to Jet, I've just realized. Bounty Hunter, Strength or Wisdom, don't think so. Charlatan. Intelligence or Charisma. This could be cool. You'd get Deception. And then you get Charming Liar, which I'm assuming is going to use... Yeah, when you lie and you need to make deception checks, I'm assuming. Which I don't think fits this character as well. Criminal. Yeah, experienced smuggler is going to be like... although... Those are your stealth check to see if a passive observer... To be fair... Then you get society. Pretty much you'd need to look into getting stealth, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get some proficiencies from high intelligence. So I think criminal is definitely an option, to be honest. Oh wait, shit, I was looking at detective, sorry. No, it's stealth. So you would get stealth for free. Which, if the game is played as similarly to 5th edition as I expect it to be, stealth is still like one of the most rolled skills in the game. Especially, like, I think stealth also can become your initiative role, which means you can kind of force a higher position with this. So I don't dislike this. Plus, I don't dislike experienced smuggler, to be perfectly honest. Like, you can conceal small items, you can, like, conceal your arcane focus and shit. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I don't dislike criminal. I think criminal is definitely an option, which is weird for a wizard, but I don't know, I like it more than I like the religion boost from Acolyte. Detective, again, I think detective would also just be cool. Like, especially since I'm a seer elf who can, like, look at the magic, like, who maybe solves magical murders. That would actually be a really cool backstory, I think. That would be really cool, streetwise. Feel the pulse of your local settlement. You can use your society modifier instead of your diplomacy modifier to gather information. Society. What is society in terms of modifier? Intelligence. So detective is also definitely an option. Okay. I think, like, I think from a combat min-maxing perspective, I think you'd pick up criminal. If you're going for a character who more goes for, like, a, like, how do I say this? Like, more of well, more of a detective story. You'd go for detective, I guess. If you're, like, looking more into investigation stuff, maybe, like, detective is probably better. So I think right now I'm still going towards, like, criminal. Emissary, a diplomat, or a messenger also needs intelligence, but multilingual, I'm assuming, is you have multiple languages or whatever. And I'm already getting, like, 4 languages, I would guess. Yeah, you learn 2 new languages. I'm already gonna have a bunch of languages. Entertainer through an education in the arts. Dexterity or charisma. This would be decent, but, like, performance, I'm probably not gonna pick up ever. Farmhand, constitution or wisdom, which I both don't necessarily like. Field medic, constitution or wisdom. I do think battle medic is okay as, like, a thing. Yeah, attempt a medicine check for treat wounds and provide the corresponding amount for healing. Yeah. Pretty much you can use an action to heal someone. Which, but to be fair, you'd need to do a medicine check, and medicine I'm pretty sure is going to be wisdom. Although I have thought of that being intelligence, but yeah, it feels more wisdomy, to be perfectly honest. Also, that's probably because that makes, like, clerics just base good at it, I guess. Fortune teller, intelligence or charisma, train in occultism, oddity identification. That seems interesting. You gain a +2 to occultism checks to identify magic with the mental possession, prediction, or scrying traits. I mean, I already get a +1 from the circumstance bonus, and I do think I want occultism as a proficiency, but I don't think I need to pick fortune teller for it over the stealth bonus that I can get from criminal. Gambler, I just like gambler, to be perfectly honest. But I'm assuming lie to me is again going to be, like, charisma based. Deception to weave traps, yeah. Yeah. Gladiator, definitely not. It's gonna be Connor Wisdom, I figured. Oh wait, sorry, that's Herbalist. But Herbalist neither, to be honest. Like, Guard is not happening, Gladiator is not happening, Herbalist is not happening, Hermit could, Dubious Knowledge. I think that could be a cool one too. Treasure trove of information, but not a lot of it comes from reputable sources. When you fail a recall knowledge check, you learn a bit of true and a little bit of erroneous knowledge. Yeah, how about no? How about no? Let's not do that. Hunter, not happening, pretty sure. Laborer, strength or constitution doesn't feel good. Martial disciple, no, don't like. Merchant, intelligence or charisma? Bargain hunter, that's probably good for like money's sake, I'm assuming. Can earn income using diplomacy. You mean the skill that uses charisma? You know, my best fucking skill. Okay, never mind. Minor, strength or wisdom, again, don't think so. Noble. Intelligence or charisma? Courtly graces, skilled feats. You were raised among nobility or have learned proper etiquette and bearing, allowing you to present yourself as a noble and play games of influence and politics. You can use society to make an impression on a noble as well as impersonate to pretend to be a noble if you aren't one. Okay. You still need deception and shit like that. Okay. Sure. Nomad, con or wisdom, which I don't think is going to happen. Prisoner, strength or constitution, not going to happen. Sailor, strength or dexterity, probably also not going to happen. Scholar, might happen. Scholar, I think, is one to play. Intelligence or wisdom. Arcana, knowledge, you're trained in your choice of Arcana, nature, occultism, or religion. So I'm assuming one choice and gain assurance, skill feat. Assurance, what's that? You can perform basic tasks. Choose a skill you're trained in. You can forego rolling a skill check for that skill to instead receive a result of 10 plus your proficiency bonus. Right, assurance. In your chosen skill. So I would assume you can like pick Arcana here. The question though is like, do you really want to go with Arcana? Well, you'd pretty much base, right? We're assuming that we're going up to 18 because I think 18 is the highest that you can get to in character creation for your stats. So you'd get an 18, you'd get a +3 from proficiency plus level, which is +7 total, and you wouldn't be able to roll below a 10. So you would always at least get a 17 in Arcana. The question is that worth it over the criminal stealth plus what was the criminal feature again? Criminal. Why do I so badly want to play a criminal? It's hilarious. Oh, it's a smuggler feat. Right. You're able to smuggle. To be fair, if it's only about that, because I can pick any proficiency from the Arcana one that I get from my ancestry anyway, right? So even if I pick Arcana here, I can replace Arcana with Stealth and I'd still have it, but now I'd have a minimum of like 10 plus. Plus, with, I'd get my intelligence boost, so I would already go up to 16, and then I can freely choose my other one. I wouldn't be forced to pick a +2 in a skill that I don't want, so I'd probably be able to go intelligence, dex, pick up Arcana, make it so that Arcana is a minimum of 17, which I do think is worth. Like I'm almost positive that's worth it. Because I'd get stealth, and then the only thing I'd be missing out on is the experienced smuggler. Which, to be fair, as a wizard, I would assume you have other ways to do that. Yeah, I think Scholar wins out here. Scout, Dex or Wisdom, Forager, I would assume is not going to be my thing. You always get a success on getting food, right? Yeah, I figured. Not gonna happen, I think. Street Urchin? Dex or Con? I mean, I'd be picking Dex at that point. You're trained in thievery and lore skill for the city you live in as a street urchin. You gain the pickpocket skill feat. What is the pickpocket skill feat? Steal or palm an object that's closely guarded. Still, like, I think that's decent. I still just think that Scholar's better. Tinker, I like Tinker. But specialty crafting, I don't know why, but it feels... I think this is good on, like... an alchemist, because I've played an alchemist. I think it's good on that, but the fact that I can't just pick up alchemical items, I'd have to pick up something like bookmaking, I guess I could do. To make like books and paper, which I do think might work for spell scrolls then. So I don't think this is bad, I just think it's better to go Scholar. And Warrior's not happening, so... Yeah, I think I have my choice. I think here it's going to be Scholar. So with Scholar, we need to pick... So let's just note that down before we forget. So background is going to be Scholar. Scholar means that technically we can now move our proficiency from Arcana into something else, and because of the fact that we do at some point want to go stealth, we're going to put it in stealth in this case. I also love how perception's not in here, by the way, because perception's not something that you can get proficiency in. It's hilarious. And then the skill feat from our background was, what was it? What was it called again? Sorry, I completely spaced on this. You're trained in Arcana, Nature, Occultism, or Religion. So we've picked Arcana there. Assurance. So we're going to pick Assurance. Arcana as our feat. And then we also get Academia Lore. Academia. A or E? Yeah. Don't ask me why I'm forgetting to spell Academia, but yeah. So we're also trained in that. So our list is filling up a little bit. And then, of course, we also need to increase our stats. So intelligence goes to not 1+, but 16. And we're going to put 2 more points into dexterity, making that a 14. So our AC is now 12. Yay! People can crit us at a 22. All right. Nice. Next, we've picked a background. Now we choose a class. Ironically enough, no, we don't. Because our dice picked 1/4. If you can't read it right now, just give me a second. All right, here we go. So, as you all remember, we did pick Wizard, which is great. We didn't actually pick wizard, we rolled wizard, but hey, details. So, wizard, you are an eternal student of the arcane secrets of the universe, using your mastery of magic to cast powerful and devastating spells. You treat magic like a science, cross-referencing the latest texts on practical spellcraft with ancient esoteric tomes to discover and understand how magic works. Yet, magical theory is vast, and there's no way you can study it all. You either specialize in one of the 8 schools of magic, gaining deeper understanding of the nuances of those spell above all others, or favor a broader approach that emphasizes the way all magic comes together at the expense of depth. All right. Cool. So, first of all, governments how easily they can shake off or avoid. I feel like... Okay. All right, cool. Sorry, I was just quickly checking something. Anyway, so... at first level... Is that a thing? Does it say that? That it gives me... Alright. Anyway. So... First of all, at first level... We have decided our class... Huh. Wait, really? You can... Apparently you can elect to take 2 additional ability flaws when applying the ability boosts and ability flaws from your ancestry. If you do, you can apply 1 additional free ability boost. Let's not do that yet, but it's a cool idea, actually. Alright, at first level, your class gives you an ability boost to intelligence. So, that actually already puts our intelligence to 18. So that's perfect, because I think that's the maximum that we can get to. So that's perfect. You also increase your maximum number of hit points by this number at first level and every level thereafter, 6 plus your con modifier, which currently is, well, 5. So we have 11 hit points. That seems problematic for some weird reason. Anyway. At first level, you gain listed proficiency ranks in the following statistics. Untrained in anything not listed unless you gain... Yeah, okay, sure. So, you are trained in perception. Does it say that somewhere? Yes, it does. Okay, you are trained in perception. Perfect. You are trained in fortitude and reflex, but you are an expert in will. So... Nice. So we'll put this. All right. You are trained in the club, crossbow, dagger, heavy crossbow, and staff, and you're trained in unarmed attacks. Cool. Do I put that somewhere? It feels like something I shouldn't be putting here. I'm not gonna put that down. That feels like too much work. And we're playing a wizard, so I don't know how often I'm gonna use that, to be perfectly honest. Trained in arcane spell attacks and arcane spell DCs. Alright. Is that page 3 by any chance? Or 4? Is it 4? It's 4. Yeah. So, trained and trained. Alright, cool. I was curious. Anyway. It feels weird that I wouldn't be able to use my elven spells with intelligence, doesn't it? That feels weird for some weird reason. Oh well. During combat encounters, you likely try to... So this is just like lore about like what do you probably do. All right, cool. Untrained and all armored. And trained in unarmored defense. Nice. Nice. I am trained in unarmored. I love it. Oh, this is horrible. No defensive features. Nice. Anyway. Alright. So, class features. So here it says the list, which is kind of cool. But I'm assuming we're going to go through that. So, class features. You gain these abilities as a wizard. Abilities gained at higher levels. List the levels next to their name. In addition to the abilities provided by your class, you have the benefits of your selected ancestry and background, which we already did. Also, I just realized... Oh no. I just realized I've missed one, actually. Didn't I? Didn't I get... Yeah, see? Skill, train, and arcana. Can I replace this? If I get this? I would assume so. I would assume I can replace arcana. And I have... So I get 7 skills that I'm trained at. Or, sorry, so arcana and then 2 plus 6. So I would assume that I can replace arcana here as well. Or at least, like, still take the assurance on arcana and then just move it over. Otherwise, that would feel kind of stupid. So I can take 7 of them, right? So I'm pretty sure I want to take occultism. That's 1. Pretty sure I want to take crafting. That's 2. Society is 3. Are there other, like, int skills that I don't have yet? No. So we get to take... I'm assuming that I can replace arcana here. If I'm wrong, sorry, just tell me. So 4 more, so let's take... Let's take medicine, because why the hell not? Oh, religion? Yeah, because I think I can take those as well. At least 2. You know what, let's take thievery, because I have points in dex anyway. Do we want to be able to talk in any way, shape, or form? Maybe we just take diplomacy just to have it. Sure, so that's 7 of them, right? So that's 1. So so which ones did I take? Crafting, diplomacy, these 2 I had. Medicine, nature I had. Occultism, religion, society, stealth, thievery. Did I miss? Wait. I added thievery, I added stealth, I added society, I added religion, occultism. Wait, how many should I have had right now? Fuck. Did I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got arcana and religion. Wait, I got I got 2 from elf. I got 1 from my background. So 1, 2, 3, not counting the lores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so that's correct. It's okay. It's 10. Should be correct. Okay. Panicking for no reason. Alright, so that's the proficiencies. Arcane spellcasting. Through dedicated study and practice, you can harness arcane power to cast spells. You can cast arcane spells using the cast a spell activity, and you can supply material, somatic, and verbal components when casting spells. 2 first level spells and 5 cantrips each morning. from the spells in your spellbook. See below. +1. Extra cantrip and spell of your chosen school of each level you can cast if you are a specialist wizard. Okay. Prepared. I'm assuming they're going to explain that. Prepared spells remain available to you until you cast them or until you prepare your spells again. Okay. So every long rest, right? As you increase in level as wizards, your number of spell slots and the highest level of spells you can cast from spell slots increase. Some of your spells requires you to attempt a spell attack roll to see how effective they are, or have your enemies roll against your spell DC. Since your key ability is intelligence, your spell attack rolls and spell DC use your intelligence modifier. Okay, so I figured that. So class DC, I think we can just very safely put intelligence here. I'm assuming I'm trained in my class DC, because that would be weird. And then I'm assuming spell ability, I can also take intelligence and put it there. All right, nice. I'm assuming I'm going to become master and stuff at higher levels then. Yep, all right. When you get spell slots of 2nd level or higher, you can fill those slots with stronger versions of lower level spells. Do I have to prepare which spells I have? I don't remember that. I don't remember how preparing works, actually. At first level, prepare up to 2 first level spells from the spells in your spell book. Okay. Cantrip is a special type that doesn't use a spell slots. And cast them at will any number of times per day. Is always heightened to half your level. Oh, rounded up. Yeah, rounded up. So this is usually equal to the highest level of spell you can cast. Yeah. Alright, cool. Then spellbook. Every arcane spell has a written version. You start with a spellbook worth 10 silver pieces or less, which you receive for free and must study to prepare your spells. The spellbook contains your choice of 10 arcane cantrips and 5 first level arcane spells. Choose them from the arcane spell lists or from other arcane spells you gain access to. Form a name are up to you. Might be whatever the hell you want. And, oops, sorry, each time you gain a level, you add 2 more arcane spells to your spellbook. So you start with 10 cantrips and 5 spells, and you add 2 more spells of any level you can cast. Okay. Okay, so hold on a second. Do we get our special arcane school of level 1? Is that a thing? Yes, we do. Okay. So the choice that we get to make, you gain additional spells and spell slots. Okay, so your arcane spells are specified at 207, so 2 pages further. Or you can be a universalist. They lack the focus, but they have greater flexibility. I am now very curious. Arcane bonds, you place some of your magical power in a bonded item. Each day when you prepare your spells, you can designate a single item you own as your bonded item. This is typically an item associated with spellcasting, wand, ring, staff. And you gain the drain bonded item. Okay. Is that a full action, or what is that? Hold up. Hold up. No, that's a reaction. Is it? No, it's not. Oh. Free action. Oh, it's a free action. Oh, shit. It's a free action. Okay. You expend the power stored in your bonded item. You gain the ability to cast one spell you prepared today and already cast without spending a spell slot. Huh. Okay, cool. That's kind of cool. Do I need to note that down on the sheet? Feature first, feature first. I'm assuming so then? I assume Arcane Bond is one then, and then Arcane Thesis is the other? I don't know. Arcane Bond, Arcane Thesis. I'll just note them down. Alright, Arcane Thesis. During your studies to become a full-fledged wizard, you provide the thesis of unique magical research on a variety of topics. You get a special benefit depending on the topic of your thesis research. The Arcane Thesis topics presented in this book are below. Your specific thesis probably has a much longer and more technical title. Oh god. Okay, sure. Oh god, okay. Okay. Improved familiar attunement. You've long held that fine-tuning the magic that bonds wizard and familiar can improve the mystic connections. You've formed such a pact with your familiar, gaining more advantages from it than most wizards. You gain a familiar wizard feat as a bonus feat. Your familiar gains an extra ability. Rather than your connection with your familiar. Okay, so your arcane bond then becomes improved familiar. Okay. So you would get the familiar wizard feat, which I'm assuming is gonna be in wizard. I'm gonna assume that's a level 1 feat. You gain a familiar. Look at page 217. Oh my god. Yeah. So you pretty much get a familiar. Choose a tiny creature, have a minion traits. So pretty much you get a familiar. I'm not gonna go through the familiar rules because that's gonna take me too far already, I think. Alright. You've realized that the practice known as metamagic is a holdover from a long time ago. Okay, you gain a first level metamagic wizard feat as a bonus feat. You can gain a metamagic. Okay, starting at 4th level. Okay. So you get a metamagic. Oh god. All of the feats. You get all of the feats. God damn. Is metamagic a wizard feat? Doesn't say so. Oh. Oh, okay. It's a tag. Okay. So either you get reach spell or widen spell. So either you can extend the range of your spells with the next action. So you use one action to use reach spell, which gives us a reach, which increases your reach by 30 feet, or widen, which adds 5 to the radius of a burst, or 5 to the length of a cone that has a certain minimum. Okay. But then later down the line, you get other meta magics like Silent Spell. Is it funny to anyone else that Wizard gets this and not Sorcerer? Okay, so okay, cool. Spell blending. You theorize that spell slots are a shorthand for underlying energy that powers all spell casting. When you make your daily preparations, you can trade 2 spell slots of the same level for a bonus spell slot of up to 2 levels higher than the traded spell slots. So you can trade, like, let's say that you're level 5, you can trade 2 first levels for a 3rd level, for example. Or you can trade any spell slots for 2 additional cantrip. Okay. This seems cool, but I don't think I would pick it because I don't know enough about spells at the moment. Plus, seeing as I'm only going to level 5, I'd only be able to trade into first levels for a 3rd level, so I don't think this is going to be high value just yet. And then spell substitute. I think for like a level 20 character, if you can like trade into 7th level or... Well, can you have 2 7th level slots? Is that a thing? The table's here, right? Like how many... Yeah, see? Oh god, you can even go up to 10th level. God. So like, yeah, you can trade in 2 7th levels for a 9th level. And if 9th levels are as powerful, then like, if you go up to level 20, I think spell blending is possibly worth it. Especially because I think you can take the meta magic once base, and I don't know how good getting a fancy familiar is. Spell substitution, you don't accept the fact that once spells are prepared, they can't be changed until your next daily preparation. Spend 10 minutes to empty one of your prepared spell slots and prepare a different spell from your spellbook in its place. This is good, I'm gonna be honest. This is... Yeah, I like spell substitution as a feature. I think it's this is a good feature. This is really good. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get enough value out of a free meta magic. So I think I would go for spell substitution because it lets you be a little bit more how do I say this? it lets you be a little bit more versatile with your spells. I'm like, if I were going up to level 20, I'd probably pick spell blending because then that seems broken. And I'm probably not giving this the thought that it deserves, but I'm too lazy to go through the familiar rules right now. So I think probably spell substitution right now. All right, and then we go to wizard feats. So at first level on every even number level thereafter, you get a wizard feat. Second level on every 2 levels thereafter, you get a skill feat. And then 3rd level, we get a general feat. 3rd level on every 2 levels, you get a skill increase to increase a proficiency rank to trained in 1 skill or trained to expert. All right. How many skill increases do you get? Just 1? Oh, and 5th level, you boost 4 different ability scores. Okay. Wait, does 4 different ability scores mean you can't pick intelligence twice? Because it says 4 different ability scores. Okay, and then we really just have to stop here. But apparently it's 7, then your spell DC and attack roll DC goes up and stuff. And then, yeah, so reflex becomes expert here. Alright, cool. Arcane schools. Okay. So what are we picking here? So pretty much this would... So I'm assuming that we kind of have to pick our spells and then pick our schools, right? So you can fill your spellbook with whichever spells you like, but the list below covers a good selection of starter spells for a first level wizard. So you need to pick 10 cantrips and 5 first level spells. So maybe let's start with that and then look at like, or should I pick my... I'm mostly curious what the schools are, to be perfectly honest. Like what they do. Do they do anything else but like give you spells? So if you specialize in an arcane school, rather than studying school equally as universalists do, you get an extra spell slot for every level of spell you can cast. So pretty much, let's say that you're a 5th level wizard, you get 3. You get 1 first, 1 second, 1 third. Okay. But you can only prepare spells of your chosen arcane school in these extra slots. In addition, you can prepare an extra cantrip of your chosen school. You can also add another arcane spell of your chosen school to your spellbook. Okay. You learn a school spell, a special type of spell taught to students of your arcane school. Wait, hold on. So you learn a school spell, a special type of spell taught to students of your arcane school. School spells are a type of focus spell. It costs 1 focus point to cast a focus spell, and you start with a focus pool of 1 focus point. You refill your focus pool during your daily preparations, and you can regain 1 focus point by spending 10 minutes using the refocus activity to study. Okay. Focus spells are automatically heightened to half your level rounded up. Okay. Focus spells don't require spell slots, nor can you cast them using spell slots. Certain feats can give you more focus spells and increase the size of your focus pool. Your focus pool can never hold more than 3 focus points. Okay. So you start out with a focus pool of 1 point automatically, right? Okay. And then I'm assuming you can get there. So I get, okay, cool. All right. Okay, so abjuration, protection, strengthening defenses, preventing attacks, turning magic against itself. You understand that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Add 1 first level abjuration spell to your spellbook, and you learn the protective ward school spell. Page 407. What was it? Protective ward. You emanate a shimmering aura of protective magic. You and any allies in the area gain a +1 status bonus to AC. And each time you sustain the spell, the emanation radius increases by 5 feet. Okay. Alright, okay. So, abjuration is that. Conjuration, you summon creatures and objects. Drew key to victory, strength in numbers. You can get, okay, and you can get augment summoning. This is a very personal thing. I'm going to be very honest in this. I know that every single time when I'm like playing, when I'm like playing in Fantasy Grounds, I seem to rip on summoning spells. I love summoning spells. Summoning has always been like my favorite category in any game. Don't ask me why. I don't know. It's honestly the only reason I play a druid. Because I just love summoning. I love having like a bunch of minions to do my bidding. I've just never... it's one of the reasons I've always wanted to play a necromancer, to be perfectly honest. Maybe I'll see if necromancy's in there. I might pick necromancy. But you know, this is very much a contender. Because you augment the abilities of a summoned creature, target gains a +1 status bonus to all checks, including DCs, including its AC for the duration of its summoning up to 1 minute. Yeah. This is a decent fucking thing. You pick up summoning spells. It's just too bad that like augment summoning doesn't get additional effects based on your level or something. It doesn't seem to improve like higher level or whatever. There are a lot of these. Oh no, there's a couple of spells that are like heightened. Okay. Anyway, divination, master remote viewing, impressions, pre-signs, learning information that can transform investigations. Yeah, you can learn True Strike, which is a first level spell here, which is hilarious. Diviner Sights. Alright, you glimpse to the target's future. Roll a d20 when the target attempts a non-secret saving throw or skill check. You can use the number you rolled instead of rolling and the spell ends. Right. Right. Diviner Sight's a cool spell, but I wouldn't pick it. It's better than Augment Summoning, I think, though. This is always going to be good. Enchantment. As an enchanter, use your magic to manipulate others. Might use your abilities to subtly influence others or seize control. Understand that the mind surpasses matter. You add 1 first level enchantment to your spellbook and you learn Charming Words. Which they must make a will save. Critical success unaffected. Success take a -1 to attack rolls, damage rolls. Failure can't take hostile actions against you. Critical failure, stunned 1 and can't use hostile actions. So yeah, charm. Evocation, I'm assuming is damage. You can learn like stuff like shock and graft, and then force bolt, I'm assuming. Yeah, you fire an unerring dart of force, automatically hits, steals 1d4. So pretty much, you know, magic missile. Heightened +2, and then I'm assuming for every +2 you get an additional 1d4 +1. Yeah, because it says heightened +2, so every 2 levels that you increase. So that's pretty decent. Illusion, illusory object, and then you learn warped terrain, which I'm assuming warps the terrain. I would assume. Transmutation. Aww. Wait, really? No oh. Did I just look over necromancy? How did I look over necromancy? Anyway, powers of life and death. While your school is often vilified for its association with raising the undead, control over life also means control over healing. And add Grim Tendrils and Call of the Grave. Call of the Grave. Oh yeah, makes array of sickening energy. Necromancy for some weird reason is always like doesn't really seem to like summon undead anymore for some weird fucking reason. I don't know. Necromancy is never as cool as people make it out to be. And yes, I am talking about Divinity Original Sin right now, where it's just overpowered. And then transmutation. Physical boost, which target gains a +2 status bonus to the next acrobatics, athletics, fortitude save, or reflex save. Okay. That's kind of cool. And then Universalists. Instead of specializing narrowly in an arcane school, become a Universalist wizard. By studying all the schools equally, you devote yourself to understanding the full breadth of arcane arts. For each level of spell you can cast, you can use Drain Bonded item once per day to recall a spell of that level, instead of using it once per day. You get an extra wizard class feat, and you gain And you can add one first level spell of your choice. Okay. So pretty much this is like a like you can just get back your spell slots with drain bonded item instead of just getting the additional slot, and you just get an extra wizard class feat, which feels weird for some weird reason. You just pretty much don't get access to the... You pretty much get a feat instead of getting access to the focus spells, right? That's, I'm assuming, really the thing. Okay, before I make my pick here, I do want to check one thing in spells, which is early on, how many necromancy spells do you get? So Chill Touch is a cantrip. Goblin Pox, infect a creature. Grim Tendrils, take damage. Sap a creature's strength. Damage a creature in spider venomate. I don't know, it's mostly just about like gentle repose. See, like that's the issue, right? Like you don't really necessarily get to summon the undead. I feel like bind and take control of a mindless undead. Yay. Make a target blind. So like it's not that I think that it's bad necessarily, it's just it's not what I want. Like I want, so I think at that point I just pick Conjuration. Is what does Conjuration get? Tanglefoot, Conjure, which is kind of funny. Conjure a vine to entangle a creature. I don't think you pick Evocation here ever. I don't know why. I don't know. Air Bubble. React to create air for a creature to breathe. Floating Disc. Is there anything like fun here? Unseen Servant. Conjuration. Summon Construct. Summon Animal. It's already 2 summoning spells. Does the second level have any? Summon Elemental. Fuck yes. God, yeah. I think I'm just turning this into a fucking... I'm just turning this into a summoner. Fuck that. Here, Conjure. Which, to be fair, and I will admit this, that does mean that possibly you should be going with Familiar Attunement. Or with Familiar in general. Familiar might be a lot better at that point. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Alright, so we're picking Conjuration. Alright, which means where do I put my spells? There we go. So we know that Wizard at first level gets 5 cantrips and 1 first level. That they can cast, but they get 10 in their spellbook. How many spots do I have here? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'd have to note down my spellbook somewhere else. That's slightly annoying. Okay, that's slightly annoying. I'm gonna be honest. Okay. Actually, how many cantrips are there for that matter? There can't be that many cantrips, right? Are there? Please no. Please, for the love of God, no. Please. Actually, a serious question. How many cantrips are there? If there's like 10 cantrips, then why the hell am I talking about this? Yeah, no. What was it? 400 and something. I don't want to necessarily like keep switching over here. These are focus spells, which I'm also getting one of those. I should probably note that down in a minute. Time stop, holy shit. No idea why I saw that, but details. Why am I not capable of finding this fucking list? There you go. That wasn't difficult at all. Okay, how many cantrips are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wait, shield is a cantrip? Why is shield a cantrip? That is insane. I'm assuming it's not as powerful, but for some weird reason that seems weird. Oh, Shillelagh is also in here. Shield. You raise a magical shield. This counts as using the raise a shield action, giving you a... Wait, what is it? It's a cantrip, casts... Oh, it's one action. +1 to AC until the start, but doesn't require a hand to use. While the spell is in effect, you can use a shield block. Hardness 5. And you can't cast it again for 10 minutes. Yay. You can use the spell's reaction against the magic missile spell. Okay. Okay, so you get 1 AC. So you use an action to get +1 AC. Never mind. Okay. So let's just... I'm just gonna put it down in notes for now, I guess. So like, what would you want in this, I guess? You'd probably want Tanglefoot, just because Tanglefoot is a cantrip that because Tanglefoot is a conjuration cantrip, right? Vine covered in sticky sap appears from thin air, flicking from your hand and lashing itself to the targets. Spell attack against the creature, they become immobilized. Yeah, so probably mostly just pick that because it's conjuration. I'm also going to move my little handy dandy bookmarks. So pretty much as cantrips, you'd pick Tanglefoot. You'd probably pick something damage. So I would, well, message and mage hand, because I'm assuming those are good. Light, because you probably, well, to be fair, well, no, light is just good to have. Detect magic, because we were going to pick that up. We already have light, which is good enough. I'm assuming produce flame deals damage. I'm assuming ray of frost deals damage. I'm assuming those are going to be like your two basic attacks in case shit hits the fan. And I would assume you want at least 2 different types of damage. So let's see. Ray of Frost, 120 feet. Deals cold damage equal to 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. And on a crit, they take a -10 foot status penalty to their speed. Plus, for every heightened level, the damage increases by 1d4. So I think Ray of Frost is definitely good to have. And then produce flame. Is 2 actions. Wait, what is Ray of Frost? Also 2 actions. So you can only do this once, but that makes sense, right? Because, like, I'm not assuming that you can, like, triple Ray of Frost someone. You also don't take multiple attack penalties, though, so. Spell attack against your target's AC. Range attack, but you can also make a melee attack if it's in your unarmed reach. Please no. You deal 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability. On a critical success, takes double damage and 1d4 persistent. So yeah, probably you pick up Produce Flame, Ray of Frosts, and then the question is, do you pick up Acid Splash for the splashing damage? Wait, actually I did forget to check one thing. What's the range of Produce Flame? Produce Flame is only 30 feet, so Ray of Frost is probably going to be your main source of attack unless they start getting closer to you. At which point, to be fair, you probably still go with Produce Flame, I would assume. Right, Acid Splash doesn't increase in damage that much, and it's also only 30 feet. What specific scenario would you be using Acid Splash for? I think is the question. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 noted down. We're definitely taking Ray of Frost. We're definitely taking Produce Flame. So that's 7 in the spell book. I don't think I want to take Chill Touch because that's a touch and you don't ever really want that. Oh, Electric Arc. What is Electric Arc? Electric Arc. Leaps from one target to another. Oh, they need to make a save. Okay, so they make a reflex save against it. And they take 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, and for each level higher. And you can target 1 or 2 creatures within 30 feet. At that point, I'd probably just take Electric Arc over that, to be honest. Because then you can at least deal some AoE if it's necessary. I think that's better. So then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Sorry. Tanglefoot Message, Mage Hand, Light, Detect Magic, Ray of Frost, Produce Flame, Electric Arc. I still have 2. So let's take Prestidigitation. There's no minor illusion in this. Telekinetic Projectile. Range 30, so yeah. No, I think that's fine. Yeah, fuck it, let's pick Ghost Sound. Seems cool. You can make false sounds. That seems cool. Alright, cool. And then we get to pick 5 first level spells. So at this point, we'd also have to pick which 5 spells we want to prepare, which in this case I would think would be Ray of Frost, let's say Electric Arc, no, actually let's say Produce Flame, let's say, what, Message, Mage Hand, sure, you know what, let's say Message, Mage Hand, and Detect Magic, right? Because, like, you pretty much change out, like, light in case your target, in case you know you're going into a dungeon, you can always change it by, you can always switch out 1 for light. Press is decent, but like I don't necessarily want to pick it. Ghost Sound I just picked for funsies. Electric Arc is mostly if you know that you're not going to be able to use Produce Flame because you have 2 damaging cantrips, which I think is fine. So yeah. And then you get to pick 5 spells. So these we're all just going to put here, but then we're going to like select the little prep button. Because here I just didn't have enough space. So 5 spells, right? So I already know we're picking Summon Animal and Summon Construct. And some of you are going to be like, oh, but why would you pick 2 summon spells? Because fuck you. Although one of those I can technically make my... Because how does this work again? The Arcane School. You get additional spells and spell slots. Or is it... You learn a school spell, a special type of spell taught to students. Oh, in addition, you can prepare an extra cantrip of your chosen school. Fuck. So technically, I'd be able to add one more cantrip because I took Tanglefoot. So I can actually add Tanglefoot here as well. So that's pretty decent because I can prepare it in addition to the 5 that I have. Get an extra spell slot for each level of spell you can cast. You can prepare only spells of your chosen arcane school in these extra slots, right? So you'd be preparing 3 spells, one of which would have to be a conjuration spell. So let's say, do we want to pick animal or construct? Just because I think construct probably because that sounds cool. You conjure construct or summon a common creature that has a construct trait and whose level is -1. I don't know which animals that lets you summon, but I'm gonna assume those are like similarly powerful. It takes a minute. It costs you your entire turn, and I don't care. I just, you know, because I would also assume this is pretty decent because it lets you like flank with your fighter if you have one. So I think let's prep Summon Construct as our free conjuration spell slot. And then we can prep 2 more and we can get 3 more, I think, right? No, wait, hold on. We can put 5 spells into our spell book. Wait, so you can add one... I can add one first level conjuration spell to my spell book, and I can prepare 1 more. It's like that. So I can prepare 6 spells, one of which has to be a conjuration spell. So I would assume... How does Mage Armor work in this game? I'm like very much going off of my 5th edition knowledge here. Which is probably not the best idea, but... +1 item bonus to AC, maximum dexterity modifier 5. Okay. So I get a +1 to my AC, which seems really low. I think I need to go for more like damage and shit. Alarm could be cool. Alarm could be interesting. To just at least prepare, I would assume. Warden area to alert you when creatures enter. Select a password whenever a smaller or larger corporeal creature enters the spell. That's picking the password. Alarm sends your choice of mental alert. Yep. So I think Alarm is just a good spell to have, but I don't know if I'd prep it immediately. Magic Missile. Do I really want to do that? I'm just like looking at what I think is cool to have. Like Burning Hands, I would assume is just damage against the reflex save. I don't think they're gonna make like a huge difference between that and 15-foot cone, 2d6 fire damage, and for every level you heighten it, you add 2d6. Burning Hands is okay, I think. I'm assuming Magic Missile is similar to its 5th edition counterparts. Yeah, oh no, you send 1 dart for each action you use, right. And then for every 2 levels you upcast it, you shoot 1 additional missile. So if you spend 3 actions, you shoot 6 missiles, which deal 1d4 plus 1. So then technically I think Burning Hands is better. But Magic Missile deals more single target damage, where Burning Hands can deal more AoE damage. So I think they're both fine to just pick up. Burning Hands and what did I say? Magic Missile. I'm going into like cliche shit, I know. And then what else? Don't think I'm picking up True Strike ever. Is there another like cool conjuration spell? Seeing as I am going conjuration. Here's Floating Disc. Carrying objects. You know what? Sure. Let's see. What is Unseen? I would say Unseen Servant. I think Unseen Servant can just be. It can just kind of like, you know, this is maybe more of a role-playing choice where it can kind of like solidify this idea of like, here, come my minions, follow me. You know, I think the one mistake I'm kind of like making is like I'm not thinking of which spells I would like be able to take out and put back in, because like I'm assuming my combat spells are like going to be this. My traveling spell is going to be like this. Depending on like whether we're indoors or out, like in the city or out the city, it might be this. So then Unseen Servant is really like a downtime. Is like more of a downtime spell, where like it can help me with stuff. Yeah, see. So I think Unseen Servant can be like fun for like downtime stuff. Then you kind of have like a use for everything. This is like for indoors, or if you just need a specific animal. This is like just for combat, because I like constructs. Yeah, I think this is okay. So this would be my first level spell list, which I think that's fine. Cantrip level would be 1, and I would have 3 slots technically. I would put like 2 plus 1 here, because like you have the 1 which is only conjuration. That would remind me that, you know. Yeah, nice. All right. So I think the one thing I then need to do is pick my wizard feat, I would assume. AKA, do I want to be a hobbit or not? Because I need feet. Or I need to know what to put on my feet. That entire joke just tanked so badly. I am so sorry. Alright. Counterspell. I know that Counterspell isn't great here because you need to know the spell yourself. I think this can be really good, but yeah, I'm not a fan of Counterspell because you need to... Especially because it's like a spell that you've prepared. If this was a spell in your spellbook, I think I would 100% take this. I think if it was a spell in your spellbook, I would 100% take this. Because then there's a lot of value to be gained from just filling up your spellbook with spells. But you actually need to have it prepared. So I think this is very limited. When casting spells that require material components, you can provide these material components without a spell component pouch. Okay, so you don't need the materials. You get a familiar, which, yeah. This requires Universalist, which we didn't go for. And then Reach Spell and Widen Spell. To be fair, you know what I'm just thinking? Technically, Reach Spell is not bad on this character. I'm going to explain you why. Ray of Frost and because that's, I think, the big advantage of these meta magic options, and the reason that they're weaker than the sorcerer ones in 5th edition is simply put because they just require you to give up an action. We already know that, like, Ray of Frost, like Ray of Frost, Produce Flame, stuff like that, that has a range of, 30 feet. Ray of Frost 120, so you're probably not using it for Ray of Frost necessarily, but this does allow you to get like a fire spell going over 60 feet rather than over just the 30 that it usually has. So it does put some value into that. So I think I might pick Reach Spell. I know that it's weird that I'm not picking up a familiar, because I do like familiars, but again, it's because I don't know the familiar rules that well. I think familiar is definitely also an option. I might even, honestly, if I'm being perfectly honest, seeing as I'm now going with Conjuration, I think I'm gonna switch Spell Substitution, because we're still at level 1, I can still make these changes. I think I'm just gonna take... Yeah, I think I'm just gonna pick up Improved Familiar Attunement at that point. Because it would be summoning. It would make sense to have a familiar at that point. So yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna do that. We're gonna get ourselves a familiar. Fuck it. I don't know. I just flavor wise, it just, I like it more. I'm just gonna do my Arcane Thesis on familiars. That way I don't need to pick up the feat, and then we can get the value from we can get the value from Reach Spell as my wizard feat, which lets me use my cantrips. I think the summoning spells also, I would assume, yeah, they have like a range of 30 feet, although they do require 3, so I can't really use it with my summoning spells. I can use it with Magic Missile though. Like, yeah. So I think Reach Spell is good. I don't think Widen Spell is as valuable. This might fuck up my spell selection a little bit though. The fact I'm going for like summoning, but then again, like what else would I pick? Widen just barely does anything. It only really affects Burning Hands. which I don't know how many actions Burning Hands is off the top of my head. I would assume 2. Let me look at that up. Burning Hands 2, so yeah, you'd be able to use it with Burning Hands, but that would be it. Whereas Reach Spell works with a bunch of my cantrips. So I don't think I'm picking this. I can't pick this because I'm not a universalist. I don't think this is necessarily necessary. I get this from my other feats, so I think it's going to be Reach Spell for first level then. Alright, nice. So that leaves one more thing, which or 2 more things, because now we've done our class stuff. So that leaves the last portions, which is we now need to determine our ability scores and fix up everything. So we get 4 more increments. Right. We don't need to put anything back into intelligence, which is kind of cool. Because this is maxed. So the way that I think I want to do this is I'm going to put 2 increments into dexterity. I'm going to put 1 increment into constitution. And I'm going to put 1 increment into wisdom. And the only thing that I'm kind of debating now is, do I want to put an increment from dexterity also into wisdom for perception and well, technically for will saves I get the +2 already, so it's not necessary for will saves per se. It would mostly be, yeah, it would mostly be for yeah, it would mostly be for perception. And initiative wise, I do have my stealth, but I'm not always going to be able to roll stealth. So what do I lose? If I drop my dexterity from my wisdom, I increase my perception, I increase my will save, I decrease my reflex save. The other thing is, do I want to increase my con? I mean, to be fair, yeah, no. I think I'm doing this. I think I'm dropping dex to 16, and I think I'm increasing wisdom to 14. Just for the perception. Just already for this. Will saves, it doesn't matter as much for, but like, you know, hit points go back to 12. That's pretty important though. I don't have armor, so that's fun. Alright. So I think we have everything other than that. Now we just have equipment. Now, I think the only equipment that I would really buy as a wizard, I would assume the only equipment I would buy would be the spellbook, because I don't have proficiency with any armors. You're untrained in all armor, trained in unarmored defense. So I would assume this would be it. I have no defense. Like none whatsoever. Oh god, I really need to stay behind with this character. I do want to check one thing. Like, what I'm mostly like thinking about is like, Like, I'm mostly wondering, like, is there any kind of, like, I'm assuming I can't wear armor ever. But I'm mostly, like, wondering, like, what are the downsides of wearing armor that you can't wear? You know what I mean? Like, there's a very steep penalty to doing it in... Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, cool. There's actually a class kit thingy. So staff, adventurers pack, materials component pouch, writing set, and a crossbow with 20 bolts. You know what? We'll just do that then, because I'm assuming you're not buying anything in terms of like armor. Yeah. Okay. So we'll leave it at that then. Okay. Modifiers we already did. So I would pretty much just have a quarterstaff, which to be fair is never going to deal any damage because I have 10 strength. Plus, technically, I can use It's kind of the reason that I'm like preparing Produce Flame, because you can use that as a melee attack as well, which I think is going to be better. So yeah, I would assume you can still like use your stuff for that. Although I do think they get attacks of... Well, no, attacks of opportunities are feats in this game, so they don't necessarily have it. Alright, did I forget anything? Plus their proficiency bonus with their armor. Wait, do I need to add my... Because I'm untrained and no armor. So why does it say 13? Yeah, I have 16 AC because I'm trained and unarmored, right? So I'm assuming I have 16 AC. Okay, cool. So I think that's level 1. Holy shit. It's a lot of work to make a Pathfinder character. I like this. This is cool. I think this is okay. I'm also happy this kind of pre-fills itself, to be perfectly honest. And I would get 4 languages, I guess. Oh, the familiar one has to be here. Okay, good to know. And then my focus spell would be here. What was my focus spell called again? Sorry. What's it called? God damn it. Seriously. Nope. I passed it. Augment summoning. So augment summoning. Current 1, maximum 1. There you go. I don't have an... Yes, do I have innate spells? Yes, I do. No, wait. I picked Seer. Fuck, I have Detect Magic as base. Why am I picking Detect Magic? I just realized that. I picked Seer, right? God damn it. I fucked up. People have been screaming at me. Do I really want another cantrip? Let's just add Acid Splash at that point, I guess. Let's fucking add Acid Splash. Fucking hell. I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother. Like, let's add Acid Splash. And then prep Acid Splash. There you go. All right. I think that's level 1. So let's say we're gonna go to level 2. So let's do that. So if we want to level up to level 2, what do? We check the table. we also need to make sure that we do everything. So second level, we get a skill feat and we get a wizard feat, apparently. Also, if I am not mistaken, every level you can add 2 more arcane spells to your spellbook of any level of spell you can cast. And in addition to that, I also get to prep 1 more additional spell. All right. So if we were to go up to level 2, first of all, pick our wizard feats, because why the hell not? Are there wizard feats at level 2? Or would I have to pick? Nope. Oh, yes, there's. You can prepare 2 additional cantrips. I already don't think I care. Conceal spell. Hiding your gestures and incantations within other speech and movement. You attempt to conceal the fact that you are casting a spell. If the next action you cast is to cast a spell, attempt a stealth check against 1 or more observers' perceptions. Spell has verbal components. You must also attempt a deception check. If you succeed at your check or checks, they don't notice you casting it. Okay. So you can do shit quietly. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd pick Enhanced Familiar at level 2 for my wizard feat then. Right? I don't think I don't have Deception. And what was the other? Stealth. I would be able to do a stealth check, to be fair. So I'm pretty sure here we pick Improve Familiar. Pretty sure. So this becomes level 2. So we're just upping that to 2. So we're picking that because I think that makes most sense. I think, yeah. I don't know. I like Enhanced Familiar. I think that's a good one. I'm gonna need to check out how familiars work after this. And then I also got to pick a skill feat, right? Skill feats can be found in chapter 5. Oh boy. General. Alright. Oh boy. You must be trained or better in the corresponding skill to select a skill feat. So, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, I guess. But pretty much, what are we capable of looking at? We're capable of looking at Arcana, which gives you Arcane Sense, Cast Detect Magic, as well as an Arcane Innate spell, which we already have. Alchemical Crafting, Quick Repair, Snare Crafting, Specialty Crafting, or Magical Crafting. Crafting magical items could be cool, I think. Diplomacy, pretty sure we're not picking that. Lore, are there lore ones? Additional lore experience, yeah. What else? Medicine. Battle medicine, which we already know. Treat several patients at once. Greater benefit from treat disease and treat poison. And treat wounds on a patient more often. I don't think I would be treating a lot. Be more casting spells. Nature. Use nature to treat wounds. That could be good, to be perfectly honest. Oh no, it's still wisdom. Never mind. I thought that was intelligence. Teach an animal a trick. Does that work on a familiar? Bonded animal. An animal book. You already have your familiar. I don't think that's useful. Occultism. +2 to occultism checks to identify magic with certain traits. Nah. Religion. Student of the canon. Again, no. Society. Use society to get along in nobles, learn 2 new languages, read lips, learn sign language, use society to gather information, recall, or leverage your connections for favors and meetings. Honestly, except if stealth or thievery has something. Roll a single stealth check when sneaking with allies. Nah. I'd let the rogue do that, to be honest. Yeah, I think if I can't. Oh no, I'd need expert. Oh fuck! For magical crafting, you need expert in crafting. Damn it! Damn it! That's annoying. I was hoping I'd be able to like take that. That's annoying. So why the hell is that? Oh, because alchemist, I'm assuming. Because I don't think you can upgrade something to expert. Yeah, you can only do that at 3rd level. So pretty much, when do I get another skill feat? At 4. So I think at 4, I'd probably pick up magical crafting then. Because I think at 3, I'd put crafting here. So then, here for skill feats. Then what do we pick? Then probably quiet allies, right? Arcane sense doesn't make any, well, sense. Society. You know, I honestly would not be against read lips. I think read lips is just cool. Or I do alchemical crafting. Because then I'd be able to make potions and shit. Right? Just become like a crafting monk, which is funny. Like this would, that would only work if you don't have an alchemist, right? If you have an alchemist, you don't fucking do this. At that point, what do you go for then? Do you just go for like... Do you at that point just go for oddity and identification? Just +2 to occultism checks to identify magic with certain traits? Probably, right? Or battle medicine, but you don't really use... don't really use medicine. I mean, you do have a +6 to medicine right now, which is decent, but... Yeah, I think you probably go alchemical crafting at this point, right? I think so. Yeah. You pick 4 first level alchemical items, which you can then make. And you just become kind of like the crafter of the group. The other option, I think, is read lips, but that's only if it's usable. So yeah, I think the idea here would be yeah, I think you'd pick up alchemical crafting. So yeah, so let's say improved familiar, alchemical crafting. So that would be my level 2. And then don't forget, I get 6 more hit points. So this goes up to 18, which is very fucking low. And I get to learn 2 more spells, which would be first level spells in this case, and I get to prep 1 more. So I think at this point, actually, how does sleep work in this one? Because I might have made a mistake not picking sleep. Because sleep is with hit points, but I don't know if it still is in Pathfinder. Because I remember in Pathfinder First Edition it was with a save. Which, to be fair, made it fucking broken, but details. Yeah, they have to make a will save. Oh, right, they can wake up due to a successful perception check. Huh. I think sleep could be good, actually. I think sleep could be okay. I don't like sleep in 5th edition, personally. I'm really not a fan of sleep. Which I'm apparently alone in, but hey, who cares? And then the other one would probably be command. Spider sting, sleep, shocking grasp. Maybe magical weapon. How long does magical weapon last? Let's start by asking that question. If it lasts for a couple of hours, I think it could be good as like a pre-cast at some point. Never mind. Okay, it's for a minute, so I'd have to give up my turn to do it, pretty much. So that's not happening. Maybe I do just pick up mage armor then. Yeah, probably. How long does that last? Until the next time you make daily preparations. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, mage armor. So yeah, mage armor pretty much. Sure. Sure. Let's take mage armor. I don't think I'd be prepping it immediately, but maybe like if we know that there's creatures that don't sleep or whatever. So yeah. That was weird. Anyway, that I think is level 2. Unless I have forgotten something. Because I think it's only the book that really makes a difference, right? I do get to add a... I do get to... Wait, hold on. Do I get to... Did I get to... You can prepare only spells of your choice. In addition, you can prepare an extra cantrip as of your chosen school. You can also add another arcane spell of your chosen school to your spellbook. Okay, so adding it to your spellbook only happens once. That's kind of funky. That's kind of funky. Okay, so I can only add 2 spells next level again, right? If I'm not mistaken, with my spellbook. Arcane Thesis. Where the fuck is the book? Cantrips, spellbook. Which you receive for free. Contains choice of 10 arcane. Each time you gain a level, add 2 more arcane spells. If any, you can also use the arcane spells. Right, you can also add other ones. Sure. Okay. So, That gets us to level 3. So, level 3. If we look at the table, level 3 gives me second level spells, gives me a general feat, and gives me a skill increase. I still think it's weird that you only get to increase one skill. But hey, who the fuck cares? Add class features from your class advancement table. Like, is this like a wizard thing where third level and every 2 levels thereafter you gain a skill increase? You can use this increase to increase your proficiency in one skill you're trained in, or to increase your proficiency rank in one skill with which you're already trained to expert. Okay, so we go to level 3, right? So once we hit level 3, what I would like to do is I'm going to put crafting to expert. Because that way we can then pick up the magic crafting skill feat next level, I think. I hope. There's no other like limitations on that, right? I hope. Otherwise, I am not going to be happy. Crafts. Oh, I'm just looking at the skills, not the feats. Whoops. M for magical crafting, which I can't find because fuck my life. Are you fucking kidding me? God damn it. Oh, this book is so great. Magical crafting, craft magical items. Congratulations. Strangely enough, I figured that. I'm so happy you mentioned that. Oh, there you go. Okay, you gain formulas for 4 common magic items of 2nd level or lower. Okay. Oh, wait. Can you get... I'm assuming you can get more formulas, right? I would assume you can. I bloody well hope so. I would assume you can get others. Otherwise, this is going to be really fucking weird. If you can't get other formulas, then tell me, then this is a really bad choice. But so now we're picking up crafting as our expert skill, and we'll also get to pick up a general feat. So the list of general feats is assurance, dubious knowledge, quick identification, recognize spell, skill training. Oh, become trained in a skill, trick, magic item, automatic knowledge, magical shorthand, or quick recognition. Okay. Oh, is it? You get a general feat. It does say general skill feat. It doesn't have to be a general skill feat, then I'm assuming. Yeah, so it's general and skill. We also have adopted ancestry, gain access to ancestry feats from another ancestry. Become trained in a type of armor, hold your breath longer, become an expert in saving throws or perception. Die at dying 5 for Die Hard, fast recovery, which I can't take because I don't have 14 con. Feather step, step into difficult terrain. Fleet, increase your speed. Incredible initiative. Ride, shield block, which can't use shield. Increase your maximum HP and reduce DCs of recovery checks. Weapon proficiency, become trained in a weapon type. Pretty sure we're not doing that. Get a first level ancestry feat. Untrained improvisation. Search areas in half the time. Okay, so What am I seeing? I don't think Adopted Ancestry is... Because I don't think I was too hyped about those Ancestry. Well, to be fair, you get access to Ancestry feats from another Ancestry, but even then, you just get access to them. You don't necessarily get to pick them yet. You get to pick one at 5, I would assume. So you could technically, and I don't know the other feats well enough to go after that, and I'd be spending a lot of time on it. So let's not do that just yet until we have a little bit more of insight into what the other ancestry feats are. I think I honestly think assurance is a good one. I could go armor proficiency, but I already have mage armor as a spell. And the rest seems relatively limited. The only one otherwise would be like toughness. And that kind of depends on how much it increases my HP by. It would pretty much just be to stay alive. Increase your maximum HP by your level. So pretty much you'd get, at this point I'd get 3 hit points, it'd be at 21. I get a hit point per level. Which, that's not bad. I think honestly, just off of the fact that I've just picked up crafting, I think assurance crafting is just going to get me so much more value because it means that I literally can't roll below a 21. So yeah, I think here we're taking assurance crafting as our third feat. And now we get to look at second level spells, because now we also get to add 2 second level spells to our book. Because we're probably going to be adding second level spells at this point. The question, oh, actually I just went there. So now we also have 2 second level slots. So we don't get to prep an additional first level. We do technically get to prep an additional second level spell, I would assume. Because I think preparing means you have to already say which spell you're using, with which spell slot. So technically, I get to double prep spells or something. Why am I not finding the fucking, yeah, here we go. So for second level spells, first of all, what conjuration spells do we have? Because, you know, we have create food, we have obscuring mist, we have phantom steed, we have summon elemental, which I mean yeah, okay, so I'm pretty sure we're picking summon elemental here, just because I've been picking summoning spells from the beginning. Why the fuck wouldn't I? So we're picking summon elemental and prepping it because I get to cast it once for free with an additional spell slot because it's a conjuration spell. I think you just pick invisibility, right? Do you ever not pick invisibility on this character? You have so little hit points. Like, that's your second one, right? Isn't invisibility like your second? Where is it? Oh, I'm in the focus spells. Whoops. I'm looking at the focus spells, not at the arcane ones. Sorry. Invisibility. 10 minutes, yeah. 2 components to cast it. Yeah. And if it uses a hostile action. And at 4th level, it lasts a minute, but it doesn't end if the target uses a hostile action. So, yeah, invisibility is like an insta-pick here, I think. The one thing that I don't know right now for spell prepping is like... Start, you select the number of spells determined by your character's level. Remain prepared until you cast them or until each prepared spell is expended after a single casting. You need to prepare that spell multiple times. Okay. So pretty much you'd have to double prep some stuff. Okay, so pretty much it is the way that I said it. So at that point, you get 1 free prep of Summon Elemental. You prep Invisibility once as like a get out of jail free card. And then you probably just prep Summon Elemental a second time, right? I would assume. I would assume that's like your preparation at that point. So yeah. So this is 3 plus 1, and this would be 2 plus 1 at this point. Cantrip level would go up to 2 at this point because you'll be level 3. So this would be your level 3. Getting a little easier to do these. Okay. Right. So then we get to level 4. Almost. Level 4. I keep skill feat and wizard feat. So we get 1 skill feat, 1 wizard feat. So we already know the skill feat, so we're just going to do that quickly. So we're taking, I think it's called magical crafting or whatever it's called. Pretty sure. Hold up. Where is it? Crafting. Magical crafting. Because now we have expert in crafting. So we will take magical crafting. I need to stop scrolling through this. God. So magical crafting. And then we get to look at the level 4 wizard feats, which is going to be interesting. So what do we have? Bespell weapon. Frequency once per turn. Your most recent action was to cast a non-cantrip spell. You siphon spell energy into 1 weapon you're wielding. Till the end of your turn, the weapon deals an additional 1d6 damage of a type, depending on the school of the spell you just cast. I don't like this personally. I'm not a no. That's not happening. That's not happening. I think this character is very much trying to stay as far away as possible and just having his minions attack. So I don't think you ever work with weapons with this character. So I don't think I'm ever going to use Bespell Weapon with this character. Linked Focus, Prerequisites, Arcane Bond, and Arcane School. Both of which I have. Right, because I'm just a wizard. Once per day, you have linked your bonded item to the wall of energy that powers your school spells. When you drain your bonded item to cast a spell for Arcane School, you also regain 1 focus point. Okay, so if you get back your spell slot, cast a conjuration spell, you get back a 2nd focus point to be able to use your augment spell again. That's kind of cool. You've learned how to cast many of your spells without speaking the words of power you would normally need to provide. If the next action you use is casting a spell that is a verbal component, at least 1 other component, remove the verbal. This makes the spell quieter and allows you to cast it in areas where sound can't carry. However, the spell still has visual manifestations. Okay, and when you use silent spell, you can use to get the benefits of this conceal. And you don't need to attempt a deception check because the spell has no verbal. This, honestly, I think is better. Like this, I mean, of course, it's better than conceal. It literally says you get the abilities of conceal. and you don't get a verbal component. So, to be fair, how many spells have I taken that have a verbal component at the moment? Because I actually don't know. Does it say that in like the thingy up front? It doesn't. Like for example, an example that I'm thinking about is invisibility. It'd be pretty good for invisibility. Which material and somatic doesn't have a verbal component. Honestly, to be fair, still, like, the augment spell isn't that ridiculous. Like, the augment focus spell. What was it? Oh, what's it called? Augment. Why am I so fucking blind? I swear. I swear to God, I can't find. Oh, because I'm not looking at fucking wizard, that's why. Because the focus spells are also sorted by class. Good job. There you go. Augment summoning. Yeah, see, it doesn't increase. Like, it doesn't heighten at higher levels. So I don't think your focus spell is necessarily that good. And I think silent spell could be good for a couple of them. Like, I'm mostly thinking of cantrips right now, because of course you can't use this with any of your summoning spells, because they cost 3. So meta magic is not great on those, just in general. Then again, a second bonus to your creatures, where at this point you're also casting. Also, at this point, you're probably like trying to cast your summoning spells at higher levels, I would assume. So maybe it's not that bad to just have your summoning spell up if your creatures survive for a turn and just be able to focus it. Because you're going to be spending a lot of time on conjuration spells anyway. I think linked focus probably. I'm just, the one thing I'm just afraid of is like, you can cast alarm silently, but that doesn't matter. Like burning hands, I would assume also doesn't have a. Oh no, it does have a verbal component. Like, what's the value here? Yeah, I think I don't think I'm gonna get much value from Bespell Weapon in this on this character, and I don't think Silent Spell just does enough. So I think you just pick Linked Focus, and then worst case scenario, you use the Augment spell twice. How many actions does the Augment spell take? Out of sheer curiosity. 1. So technically what you can do is you can cast Ray of Frost and still cast the Augment if you have your creature. I don't know if you need to use actions for bonded creatures though. I don't know how summoned creatures work. I'm gonna look up summoned creatures, but I do think Linked Focus is like the correct choice here. And we also get to pick 2 new spells. So we will do that as well. What would you want here? Blur? Is Blur ever, like, what does Blur do in this game? Does it do anything good? Target performs, it becomes concealed. Target's location obvious, can't use his concealment to hide or sneak. Targets one creature. Not that big of a fan of it. It just makes you concealed, which I'm assuming, if I remember that correctly from Pathfinder 1, it just gives you a chance to miss, like you have to roll percentile dice or stuff. Do I have anything damaging at second? No. Do I need it? Really? I could take Hideous Laughter. I think Hideous Laughter could be good. There. It must attempt a will save. Critical success and okay, success, it can't take reactions. Target is slowed 1. Okay, it's just slowed. Yeah. Maybe just go Dispel Magic, actually. Dispel Magic usually has a decent chunk of value to it. So, yeah, you know what? Let's at least pick up Dispel Magic. And you know what? Sure, let's pick up False Life at this point. Because hit points. And then do I get more spell slots here? Yes, we get a third second level. So we can technically prep 4 first level ones because we can summon elemental ones, invisibility, dispel magic, false life. Although I'm pretty sure I probably just double prep summon elemental still. Pretty sure. Pretty sure you'd still do this. Because of the linked focus at this point. I think that's better. And then dispel magic can be like something to prep in case you know that you're gonna be running into like magical shit or whatever. It's just good to have it, I think. Alright, and then my hit points go up to 24. Yay. Alright. Then, finally, we get to the last level of this after I've gone to the bottom. And kept my cantrip level at 2 because it's cantrip level, never mind. So then we get to the final level. So we go to level 5. Alright, so this is the final level that we're going to be doing for this series. So we have 3rd level spells, ability boosts, ancestry feat, lightning reflexes, and a skill increase. Nice. Okay, so what are we doing? So first of all, let's start with the easy shit, so shall we? The easy shit. First of all, ability boosts. At 5th level and every 5 levels thereafter, you boost 4 different ability scores. You can use these ability boosts to increase your ability scores above 18. Boosting an ability score increases it by 1 if it's already 18 or above, or by 2 if it starts out below 18. So, it says 4 different ability scores. So, I think that means we're increasing intelligence to 19. We're increasing dexterity to 18. I think we're increasing constitution to 12 and wisdom to 16. Now I'm assuming that constitution works retroactively, so I get to increase my maximum hit points, but I do not know that for sure. So I am going to look that up. I don't actually know. You know, I'm gonna quickly look that up. Okay. Yeah, okay. So you do get to recalculate it from the first thing I see. Which I assumed. So pretty much my constitution would therefore increase my hit points gained from every level for my class, not from my ancestry, by 1. So that would mean I would get... I feel like my hit points are way lower than they should be for some weird reason. Because I would get 6 hit points per wizard level. Yeah, I'm running behind on hit points. So I would get 6 from elf and then 5 times 7 from wizard. So that's 39. Wow, I've been slacking on this. 39? No. 5 times 7 is 35 plus 6 is 41. Jesus. I'm so good. I'm so good at this shit. God. Anyway. Also, how do I have 21 AC? That seems insane. Oh, right, because of level. Never mind. Alright, cool. So that's that. That's the ability score improvements. So that's good. Then, oh, whoops, mistakes were made. Wrong button. Then, ancestry feat. We get a elven feat. So we're quickly gonna go to elf. This was not a misclick. This is just everything rescaling whenever I tab to another part. So, ancestry feats. We get to pick a 5th level one now, which is either ageless patience. You work at a pace born from longevity that enhances your thoroughness. You can voluntarily spend twice as much time as normal on a perception check or skill check to get a +2. You don't trait a natural 1 as worse than usual on these checks. You get a critical failure only if your result is 10 lower than the DC. Cool. For example, you can get these benefits if you spend 2 actions to seek instead of 1. Twice as long exploring. Spending twice as much downtime. Okay. And I don't have Elven Weapon Familiarity. So I think... Is there one of the first level ones that I want? Not necessarily, right? I could also just pick Ancestral Longevity. But I would have had to make myself 100 years old. But a +2 to Perception is not bad. So I think I'm going to pick Ageless Patience. Because Perception is something you roll so often, and I think you can kind of abuse... I think you can kind of abuse that. It's like I'm looking around really, really nicely. I think it depends on your DM. If your DM would be difficult on this, you'd probably better take something else, but... I think you can abuse that with like a DM that allows some stuff. I think I'd be pretty easy going on Ageless Patience. It's only a +2. Not gonna break the game, you know. Alright, back to Wizards. So. There you go. What else did we get? Ancestry feat, Lightning Reflexes, which I think just means I'm now expert at... Yep, your proficiency rank for reflex saves increases to expert, which is always good. Here we go. So this becomes a +13, which is great. And then what else? skill increase, right? So skill increase also happens right now. So which skill do I want to make expert? We already did crafting. I think it would very much depend on like other stuff, but I think honestly I would pick stealth here. I think personally I'd pick stealth just purely off of the fact that, again, stealth is probably going to be one of your most rolled skills. I just think it's pretty decent to have, and I don't think any of the others, especially since Arcana, you already don't roll below like a 21. So, you know, like Arcana and craft, but crafting you need for feats in the future. Maybe if there's a feat in the future that I would want, I would probably just switch this, but I'm not sure because I don't know the feats that well yet. So we're gonna pick stealth here. And then I think that's everything except for my spell. So, or am I forgetting something? I do, for spells, need to put this to 3. Oh, whoops, let's not accidentally close the core rulebook, shall we? And we have 3, 3, 2. And remember, we also get 1 conjuration slot here that we can also always use to just get a higher level construct or whatever. So yeah, all right. Which 3rd level spells do I want? Good question. No idea. Because I haven't looked at 3rd level spells yet. Fireball. Always fireball. Just fireball. Isn't that like the answer to everything at this point? To be honest. It's not 42 anymore, it's just fireball. Alright, conjuration spells. We definitely need one of those. Stinking Cloud is an option. Is that the only conjuration spell, really? Forms a cloud that sickens create. Okay. I mean, like, no offense, but you legitimately do take fireball, I assume, right? You deal 6d6 in a 20-foot burst. Basic reflex save. For every spell you upcast, it increases its damage by 2d6. Or is Lightning Bolt better in this? That would be hilarious if Lightning Bolt was better. Is Lightning Bolt better? Please don't be better. I mean, you can be better if you really want to be. 4d12. Wait, 4d12 on average is 22 points of damage. Fireball on average is 21 points of damage. However, Lightning Bolt only adds 1d12, so adds 5.5 points on average each level you upcast it. Fireball adds 2d6, which is 7. So if you cast Fireball to Lightning Bolt at level 3, Lightning Bolt's better. If you upcast, Fireball's better. Is there any reason not to pick Fireball? Sorry. I really should not be laughing this hard. It doesn't feel like it. Invisibility sphere. Ooh, that sounds cool. 10-foot emanation targets you and any creatures in range. You and all creatures are invisible except to each other as long as you remain within the spell's area. For 10 minutes. Creature made invisible by the spell leaves the area, becomes visible, and remains even if it returns. If any creature made invisible. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Okay. That's actually a kind of cool spell, Invisibility Sphere. Kind of like Pass Without a Trace, but, you know, less ridiculously broken. Yeah. You know what? Out of personal interest, I think I will be taking Fireball, and I think I will be taking Invisibility Sphere because I think for exploring that's just a good spell. I will say this: I think you prep Fireball. I think you don't necessarily prep Invisibility Sphere, and I think you double prep a 3rd level Summon Elemental or Summon Construct or Animal, or whichever one you can get a great, because upcasted they get higher challenge rating stuff. So I honestly think that's worth it. Like, hands the fuck down. I think you just prep Summon Elemental a bunch. You just summon. You also get your focus you also get your linked focus. So yeah, I think that's it. Which is kind of weird. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. Pick this, I picked this, I picked my ancestry feat, lightning reach, and take my skill increase. I only get my skill feat next level again. Yeah. That's weird. Alright, so I think I'm just gonna end this with a little bit of a conclusion. I've spent way too long building this. But I think the idea here is just you're playing a character, you're pretty fucking low on hit points throughout most of this. I think you have very low AC. I know that like characters like, you know, fighters and shit start with 18 at level 1. You're like at 13. So I think that's one of the reasons why like Distance Spell is a good feat to pick up just in general. I didn't note down my strikes because I'm pretty sure you're never using weapons. I specifically picked up Produce Flame because you can use it as a melee attack and it just deals more damage, and I think it uses your intelligence from what I understand. Languages, I do get to pick 4 languages. So yeah. I think what I do want to do before I leave off is I do want to do this and check out how all this works. Because these are animal companions. However, I would assume familiars. This is what I wanted. Familiars are mystically bonded creatures tied to your magic. Most familiars were originally animals. Ritual of becoming a familiar makes them something more. You can choose a tiny animal, bad cat, raven, or snake. Familiars have the minion traits, page 634. So during an encounter, they gain 2 actions in a round. If you spend an action to command them. Oh, so I have to spend an action to command them. Okay, so pretty much keep them out of combat. To be fair, if you just cast a cantrip, you still have your 3rd action left over, so it is definitely playable. Definitely playable. Minions are creatures that are directly served to another creature. Creature with this trait can only use 2 actions per turn, can't use reactions. Acts on your turn in combat once per turn when you spend an action to issue the command. For an animal companion, you command an animal. For a minion that's a spell or magic item effect, like a summoned minion, you sustain a spell or sustain an activation. If not otherwise specified, you issue a verbal command, a single action with the auditory and concentrate traits. If given no commands, minions use no actions except to defend themselves or to escape obvious harm. If left unattended for long enough, typically 1 minute, mindless minions usually don't act. Animals follow their instinct, and sapient minions act how they please. Okay. So, modifiers, save modifiers in AC are same to yours. Perception, acrobatics, stealth modifiers equal to your level plus your spellcasting modifier. Intelligence in my case. Good sense in the 7thRoll. It uses your level as its modifier. Hit points, 5 hit points for each of your levels. Tiny, senses. Has low light vision. Has a speed of 25 feet or a swim speed of 25 feet. Familiar and master abilities. Oh, here you go. So these are the abilities you can give it. So familiar and each day you channel your magic into 2 abilities, which I think I can turn into 4 because I have the improved familiar feat, right? Is that how that worked? I'm gonna quickly look it up in the book so that I'm sure that I'm not. Oh, here you go. Oh no, that's Druid. Why am I looking at Druid? I should not be looking at Druid. Druid. Hold on. Where is it? Here it is. Improved. You formed such a pact. You gain the familiar. Familiar gains an extra ability. Gains an additional extra ability when you reach 6th, 12th, and 18th level. Hold on. So how does the... Because I picked Enhanced Familiar, right? You enhance your familiar with additional magical energy. Select 4 familiar or master abilities each day instead of 2. If your arcane thesis is improved familiar attunement, your familiar's base number of familiar abilities before adding any extra abilities is 4. Okay. So, like, I can take a bunch of these abilities that I'm assuming. Gain one. Oh, spell battery. You gain 1 additional spell slot at least 3rd level. Oh. Damn it. Can take the damage for your familiar. Can use 2 actions with the concentrate traits to regain 1 focus point. What? Oh, cool. You can get another thingy. That's kind of cool. Nice. Add additional cantrips, which is not bad. This is decent. You can speak, it gains sense. Quick alchemy, sure. Gains a flying speed, that's just good. Increase one of the familiar speeds to 20. Yeah, it gains dark vision. Takes no damage on a save. These are decent fucking things. And you can have your, like, definitely, pretty much, I'm pretty sure you immediately, like, just take flyer. So yeah, okay, nice. I like this. And then the other thing that I wanted to look at was summoning, I think. Gains a summon trait. Can't summon other creatures, create things or values, or cast spells that require costs. Has a mini trait, so it can only take 2 actions. And doesn't have reactions. And you need to use an action to control it. If it tries to cast a spell of equal or higher level than the spell that summoned it, it overpowers. Okay. Okay, so they immediately... Oh, it just does what it wants to do, pretty much. But it can follow your orders. Okay, cool. I still think that's cool. All right. So, with that, I think we have our basic build for this character. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know if this is something that I'm going to be doing in the future again. I don't know if anyone enjoys this or whatever. It allows me to kind of go through some stuff from Wizard and whatnot. I'm gonna save this. Please, if you have any comments or suggestions or things that I did wrong or things that I misunderstood or whatever, by all means, there is a comment section. You can leave it down below there. And other than that, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.